What if Deku was born with Ultra Instinct? Part 1. So, to start it off, I know you guys, a lot of you guys really liked how I put Jump Force in the background, so I'm doing it again today, but just be, warned that it's probably not going to happen every single day, because it does take maybe, 40 minutes to edit, and, sometimes I don't have that time to edit, but on most weekends, I'm going to have Jump Force up, maybe not next weekend, just because I'm probably not going to be able to record that much next weekend, but maybe. So, to start off, Deku from an early age could tell he had some sort of ability that a lot of kids didn't. Every time somebody tried to maybe, every time, a kid tried to do something to him, since he was, he wasn't very confident, so people, even in preschool, bullied him for this, and, when they try to punch him and stuff, he just, dodge it without even paying attention, and, everyone's like, how are you dodging this? You're not even looking. And, from an early age, everybody knew, from an early age, he had this skill that, nobody else had. So, when he turned 4, he knew that he has a quirk. He knew he had a quirk. He knew he could become a hero. But could he really be a hero with a dodging quirk is his only question. Because his quirk basically allows him to dodge. So, on his 4th birthday, Inko takes him to the quirk doctors. And so basically he's really giddy in his seat, he really wants to hear what type of quirk he has, and he's holding his All Might figure and stuff, he really, really wants to know what type of quirk he has, basically. So when the quirk doctor comes in, and and tells him he doesn't have a quirk, he drops his toy and he's like, what? How? I know I can still become a hero. What do you mean? I know I have a quirk. And he's like, well, kid, so these test files here, it shows you don't have a quirk. And he's like, oh yeah, well, throw a punch at me. You throw a punch your hardest you can at me. So basically, he just throws a punch right at his face, or at his stomach, and he just disappears and reappears right behind him. And he's like, see? He's like, what the heck? I don't think this is a quirk. This might just be an ability. This is crazy. And he's like, well, kid, I don't know what to tell you. You're quirkless. He's like, that's fine. As long as I have this ability, I can still be a hero. So basically from that day forward, he set out to become a hero and train. And I'm just going to say the more he trains using Ultra Instinct, the more confident he gets, just because of how strong he is. So he's not the wimpy Deku and hero nerd. He doesn't really like heroes that much. He's kind of like Stain, but doesn't kill them. He basically, every time he sees a fake hero, he tells them off about it, even though he might be 6. He tells them off about being fake, and this is way before the hero killer even arose. So all the heroes are who does this kid think he is? So basically the next day he goes and tells Bakugo that he's quirkless. Bakugo's just hey everybody, Deku's quirkless. And Deku's oh yeah, I may be quirkless, but I could still beat all of you. And Bakugo's just with what? And Deku just opens up his arms and says, come on, everybody try and hit me. None of you can. As basically they all start throwing punches. Bakugo starts throwing his explosions, even though it hurts his hands. The preschool people don't know what to do. So, the preschooler people don't actually understand what's going on. So, And all of them are throwing punches, only for Deku just to be like dodging all of them. And he's like, is that the best you got? And they're just like, geez, how can they dodge so much? Like, everyone's questioning if he's quirkless or not, even though he is, basically. So everyone's just like, how could this kid be quirkless? So, time skip maybe like 3 years, he's 7. Deku has been training his body a lot, basically. He's been working out a lot, and he's also been studying a lot. He only does 2 things, working out or studying. He doesn't watch TV. He either eats, works out, or studies. He doesn't hang out with friends. He's dead set on becoming the first quirkless hero, basically. So he's just continuing and continuing and continuing to keep this up, keep working out, like, until one day he ends up seeing somebody with white hair, just like him, which I forgot to mention. Deku has white hair, which is, he didn't ever have green hair. He was born with white hair, which kind of freaked everybody out when his hair grew in, because they're like, how could this kid have white hair? His parents both have green hair. Not really sure what color Hasashi's hair is, but it's probably green, I don't know. So, like, they're all just confused at how he had white hair, and then he saw a tall person with white hair with a staff with a purple cat. So he walks up to them and says, hello. And then Whis, which is the mysterious figure, by the way, if you guys didn't tell, is like, oh, hello. And then he's like, how do you have white hair like me? And then Whis is just like, oh, I have something called Ultra Instinct, and that allows me to dodge everything somebody throws. That allows me to dodge. I have basically enhanced instincts and allows me to dodge without thinking. And he's like, oh, that's kind of like what I have. And like Beerus is like, what you have? What are you talking about, mortal? I had kind of forgot how Beerus spoke to everybody, because I've watched every single episode of Dragon Ball Super, and it's been over like 130 episodes since the Beerus arc, basically. So I'm just gonna say he calls them mortals, and he's like, what are you talking about, mortal? No mortal can fully master Ultra Instinct. Aren't you just a kid? Looks like you're 7 or something. And he's like, oh yeah, throw a punch at me. I bet you can't hit me. As he's like, okay. As he throws a punch and he just dodges. Like on instinct, basically. He dodges without thinking. And he's like, see, I told you. Beerus is like, Whis, this one's interesting. Please take him to my world so I can train him. And Whis is just like, oh really, you've finally found somebody for your God of Destruction role. Which they're basically Beerus is like, yes, I've finally found somebody for my God of Destruction role. This kid might be it, as he already has fully mastered Ultra Instinct. And Whis is just like, he doesn't have mastered Ultra Instinct yet, but he has some sort of spark in him that allows him to have it on all the time. He has Ultra Instinct, but like he hasn't unlocked the Omen yet, basically. Since he hasn't unlocked the Omen, he hasn't figured out how to, like, he has a mastered Ultra Instinct, but without the strength. So he has a percentage of Master Ultra Instinct, which I'm gonna say like 50% of Ultra Instinct is dodging, 50% is striking. So he already has 50% of Ultra Instinct mastered, which is the dodging part. So all he has to do is figure out the strength part about it, which, like, the dodging part can pretty much be done while somewhat thinking, kind of like how Goku did, as his punches were very weak when he was in Ultra Instinct Omen, because that's like 50% of mastered Ultra Instinct. It is dodging. It's just plain out dodging, and his body tells him when to punch, which he does, but he's also thinking. That's why he didn't master it fully until his fight with Jiren, where he completely let go in desperation to where his punches were way more powerful. That's what Deku has to experience. He basically is like 40%, since like the 10% of the 50 is like the Omen part, since he doesn't have it. So basically Beerus asks Whis to take Deku to their planet to train. And since Deku was 7 walking home from school, he never came back. He disappeared. And his mom just completely sad by this. She's like, Deku, no, where are you? Like, she's just crying about it. Like, she just really, really misses Deku, basically. So after that, he's like, wait, where am I? And Whis is just like, oh, you're on planet Beerus. Beerus's planet. And since he's on Beerus's planet, we're going to train you to fully master that Ultra Instinct of yours. And he's like, wait, I have the same thing as you? And Whis is just like, yes, but you don't have it fully mastered yet. If you fully master it, you could end up being stronger than Lord Beerus. And that'd mean you'd become the god of destruction for this universe. And he'd be like, oh, really? That's kind of cool. As time skip, they've trained, and he basically has mastered Ultra Instinct. He has somewhat mastered it completely. I'm gonna say he has yet to learn the fully mastered part, but he has Ultra Instinct down to where he can use it whenever. Like, he can use Ultra Instinct whenever he wants, but like, he doesn't have the mastered part, so his punches still do a lot of damage, but not to the fullest potential they can. So Beerus can still pretty much beat him, but they're pretty closely matched, basically. So time skip back, and Deku is 14. We're at the start of the anime. And just when you're saying, is Deku stupid because he's only been training? No, he's also been studying with Whis, so he won't and he's actually way higher than anybody at his age would be. Like, he's way stronger and smarter than everybody at his age, basically. So since he's way smarter and stronger, he could easily defeat All Might and outthink him, basically. So when the time comes, he just gets teleported. Whis and Beerus teleport him back to where they teleport him back to the alley where they met him. And since they teleport him back to the alley they met him, basically, he just walks to his house, and he knocks on the door to see that, he knocks on the door, and Inko opens it, only to see Izuku, like 6 feet tall. Like, he's like 6 feet 4 inches tall, like really muscular, basically. And she's like, Izuku, is that you? And he's like, yeah, I'm back from my 7 years of training. She's like, training? Where have you been for 7 years? Everybody thought you were kidnapped and killed. The police gave up hope. All the heroes gave up hope. But I never did. I knew you'd end up coming back. And he's like, well, you see, the god of destruction for this universe and his angel kind of took me to his planet because I had a godly power called Ultra Instinct, and they basically told me that I needed to train with them. I trained with them, and now I'm pretty much stronger than I'm stronger than everybody on this planet and pretty much all mortals in this universe. And she's like, oh, I'm so proud of you. He can control ki, by the way, if you're wondering. Yes, he can do a Kamehameha wave, but he doesn't really know it. Just saying, he doesn't really know it. Ooh, I have a fun twist. I got a twist for you guys that you'll probably hear in the next part, but it should be funny. So, basically, Inko is like, oh, I'm so proud. And then he's like, well, I'm gonna go talk to Bakugo and maybe beat him up. Bye. They taught him instant transmission, just because like they used to know Goku and Vegeta, which I'm gonna say they died, because their Saiyan blood let them live longer, but not long enough, so they ended up dying. So they taught him instant transmission. So he instant transmission to Bakugo. He's like, huh, I didn't expect this to happen. As he's right in front of a sludge villain. He's like, where the hell did you come from? And he's just like, I don't know, I just wanted to say hi to an old friend, and I just popped right here. And he's like, well, no matter, you'll just be another meat shield. You seem strong. As he sends his tendrils at him only for Deku to dodge them all. And like all the heroes are like, what's this guy doing? Where'd he even come from? As he's just like dodging. He's like dodging all the attacks. And everyone's like, where the heck is this kid come from? I don't know, nobody. And like he's just dodging everything. And then he's like, yeah, this is boring. As he just punches the sludge villain, sending him flying. And then he like grabs Bakugo and just pulls him out of the sludge. He's like, long time no see, Bakugo. He's like, do I know you? And he's like, oh, come on, you don't remember the white hair? May have gotten a lot stronger since I was 7, but geez, I didn't expect you to completely forget. He's like, wait, Deku, where the heck have you been? And he's just like, I don't know, I've been on the God of Destruction's planet. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video. And yeah, bye.